Coming up on WMBD News at noon, messy weather makes for a tricky morning commute and even leads to an extended winter break for some students in central Illinois. Plus,
the author of an explosive new book defends the unflattering picture he paints of the Trump administration. I'm Mola Lengi at the White House with the president's response.
And fire at a local restaurant. We have a look at the damage. Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining me. I'm Alyssa Paldo. That's where we begin. New at noon, a popular Mackinac restaurant catches fire overnight. Firefighters responded to HAYNES on Main after flames were reportedly seen near the back of the building. Now, the owner says the fire started because of an issue with the furnace. No one was injured, but the back portion of the building was damaged. The restaurant has been serving people in the community for 5 years.
Fire department had everything under control. They're right across the alley here, and they got it all under control and contained, but there's a lot of water damage, smoke damage. We've got a lot of response already from local people, customers and everything, so I'm sure we'll have a good turnout when we reopen.
HAYNES believes the restaurant will be open in a month or two. Meanwhile, Sunday's freezing rain creating some hazardous driving conditions today, causing many schools to cancel class. For some districts, the day off means an extra day of winter break, as lots of students were set to make their way back to school today. However, last night, ice-coated roadways causing slick conditions. IDOT officials are reminding you to make sure you're prepared to drive in winter weather. Drive slow, wear a seatbelt, make sure your gas tank is full, and make sure you have emergency supplies in your car like a blanket and water. And airports in central Illinois are experiencing some delays and cancellations due to this weather. In Bloomington, several flights have already been canceled at Central Illinois Regional Airport. Few others have been delayed. Meanwhile, several flights have also been canceled and delayed at Peoria International Airport. If you're planning to fly today, remember to check the airport's website to check the status of your flight. And weather delays aren't the only flight issues happening in central Illinois. An American Eagle flight made an unexpected return to Peoria International Airport Saturday morning after a warning system alerted flight crews. Airport officials say the issue was minor and called the landing precautionary rather. Now, the flight to Dallas was only 20 miles away from Peoria when it turned back to the airport. Well, a growing food desert in the Peoria area is leaving many local leaders concerned this afternoon. Last week, Kroger announced it would close 2 stores, one on North Wisconsin Avenue and the other on Harmon Highway in Peoria. The company says poor financial performances are the cause behind the closures. City Councilwoman Denise Moore says with the stores closing, there's nothing left to fall back on.
This is really a health crisis. People are not able to get food because when the Aldi closed and then Save-A-Lot came in, it took us 2.5 years to get the Save-A-Lot. Now the Save-A-Lot closed and the fallback position was the Harmon Highway Kroger. Now that's going away.
Kroger officials say they'll continue to restock essentials like milk, bread, and meat until the end of the month, but less popular items will not be restocked. Last week, Mayor Jim Ardis called the decision a punch in the gut.
Like this happens and it drives people to outside of our community to spend money, it's a double whammy on it. So you know, it's something that we're going to work on. It's something that's very important to us, and there really is almost nothing more basic than having accessibility to a good food source.
Kroger also says it's reevaluating construction projects across the country, including the one on Lake Avenue. The store was supposed to move across the parking lot to the old Kmart location, but will stay where it is for the foreseeable future. Well, in the Twin Cities, the Bloomington City Council will hear the final report for the city's downtown task force tonight. The panel has been meeting for the last 6 months to discuss the top priorities in revitalizing the downtown and merge comprehensive plans. The task force will present its recommendations at tomorrow's meeting, which include beautifying the area and creating more walkability. Well, a central Illinois community is being praised as one of the best places to raise a family. Washington was ranked the 4th best Illinois city to raise a family, according to a recent article published in Wallet Hub. The study was based on several factors, including housing affordability, median family income, and the share of families with young children. We have a link to the full list on our website, ciproud.com. Meantime, President Trump attacked the author of a new book, which paints him in a very unflattering light. Now the author, Michael Wolff, tells CBS News that his book is 100% accurate. Mola Lengi has more details from the White House.
In the book, true. Everything in the book is true.
Michael Wolff, the author of an explosive new book about President Trump, appeared on CBS this morning to defend his work. Fire and Fury inside the Trump White House paints a picture of a president who doesn't read, and some question whether he's even fit to serve. President Trump fired back on Twitter, saying he is a genius, and a very stable genius at that.
I consider it a work of fiction.
The president also says Wolff doesn't know him at all.
I never interviewed with him in the White House at all. He was never in the Oval Office. We didn't have an interview.
Wolff was less definitive when asked whether or not he interviewed the president.
I think he probably had no idea he was speaking to me for this book. When I would meet the president in the White House, we would chat as though we were friends. I'm sure he didn't think they were interviews. And in all fairness, he might say, I was not being interviewed.
Steve Bannon, the president's former chief strategist, is now walking back some of the more explosive quotes that appeared in the book. Bannon is quoted as saying that Donald Trump Jr.'s June 2016 meeting with Russians to obtain damaging information on Hillary Clinton was treasonous. He now says those comments were not aimed at Don Jr., but rather aimed at Paul Manafort, the Trump campaign chairman, who had also attended the meeting. But it may be too little too late to repair the damage with President Trump, who now calls him Sloppy Steve.
I guess Sloppy Steve brought him into the White House quite a bit, and it was one of those things. That's why Sloppy Steve is now looking for a job.
Bannon now calls Donald Trump Jr. a patriot and a good man. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
Steve Bannon also insists there was no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. Well, 2017 appears to have been the year to get a job, especially for blue-collar workers. A new job report shows the nation's economy added nearly 2 million jobs last year, with more than 400,000 of those jobs being in construction and manufacturing. The demand has been so high that firms have actually had trouble fulfilling the demand and have been hiring more workers. And with the president putting a focus on the country's infrastructure, experts are predicting this year could be even better. Well, here at home, congratulations are in order for the Peoria Zoo. Vivian the giraffe has finally given birth, and it's a girl. She waited a little longer than zoo officials expected, but after 15 months, Vivian finally gave birth at 2:38 Sunday morning. Her daughter is 122 pounds, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall.
It was a good birth. The baby, kind of scared us a little bit, laid there for a minute, but then started moving around, had gained her feet in about a little over an hour.
The zoo is giving the giraffe time to bond with her mother for a while before they start allowing visitors to come see her. But the zoo will be posting pictures on its Facebook page. So cute. Well, from dim lighting to a quiet environment, it's a place to help babies born too early grow as if they're still in the womb. And it's in our own backyard. Still ahead, we're taking you inside the small babies unit at a local hospital, one of only a few of its kind in the country. And temperatures haven't moved much at all from this morning, but a big warm up is right around the corner. That full forecast is next.